When you are sitting in a theater intoxicated with aesthetic pleasure, then you have the courage to require of the poet that he let the aesthetic win out over all wretchedness. It is the only consolation that remains, and what is even more unmanly, it is the consolation that you take, you to whom life has not provided the occasion to test your strengths. You then are impoverished and unhappy, just like the hero and the heroine in the play. But you also have pathos, courage, a round mouth from which eloquence gushes, and a vigorous arm. You and your kind conquer. You applaud the actor, and the actor is yourselves, and the applause from the pit is for you are indeed the hero and the actor. In dreams, in the nebulous world of aesthetics, there you are heroes. I do not care very much for the theater, and as far as I am concerned, you and your kind can mock as much as you like. Just let the histrionic heroes succumb, or let them be victorious, sink through the floor, or vanish through the ceiling. I'm not greatly moved, but if it is true, as you teach and declaim to life, that it takes far fewer adversities to make a person a slave, so that he walks with his head hanging down, and forgets that he too is created in God's image, then may it be your just punishment. God grant that all playwrights compose nothing but tear-jerking plays, full of all possible anxiety and horror that would not allow your flabbiness to rest on the cushioned theater seats, and let you be perfumed with supernatural power, but would horrify you until in the world of actuality you learn to believe in that which you want to believe in only in poetry. The first thing I must now protest against is your right to use the word habit for the recurring that characterizes all life, and therefore love also. Habit is properly used only of evil, in such a way that by it one designates either a continuance of something that in itself is evil, or such a stubborn repetition of something in itself innocent that becomes somewhat evil because of this repetition. Thus habit always designates something unfree. But just as one cannot do the good except in freedom, so also one cannot remain in it except in freedom, and therefore we can never speak of habit in relation to the good. And in truth, he who has humility and courage enough to let himself be aesthetically transformed, he who feels himself present as a character in a drama, the deity is writing, in which the poet and prompter are not different persons, in which the individual, as the experienced actor who has lived into his character and his lines, is not disturbed by the prompter, but feels that he himself becomes a question whether he is putting the words into the prompter's mouth or the prompter in his. He who in the most profound sense feels himself creating and created, who in the moment he feels himself creating has the original pathos of the lines, and the moment he feels himself created has the erotic ear that picks up every sound. He and he alone has brought into actual existence the highest in aesthetics. But this history that proves to be incommensurable even for poetry is the inner history. This has the idea within itself, and precisely therefore is the aesthetic. Therefore it begins, as I expressed it, with the possession, and its progress is the acquiring of the possession. It is an eternity in which the temporal has not disappeared as an ideal moment, but in which it continually present as a real moment. Thus, when patience acquires itself in patience, it is inner history. There are people who are so enervated that they need loud music and diverting surroundings in order to work. What is the reason for this if it is not they lack self-control except in the inverse sense? When they are alone, they are so wander into the wild blue yonder. Then, however, there is noise and confusion around them. They are required to set their wills in opposition. This is why you are afraid of peace and quiet and rest. You are inside yourself only when there is opposition, but therefore you are actually or never inside yourself, but always outside yourself. In other words, the moment you assimilate the opposition, there is quiet again. Therefore you dare not do so. But then the result will be that you and the opposition stand there face to face, and consequently you are not inside yourself. What does it mean to commit oneself to love? Where is the boundary? When have I fulfilled my duty? In what, more closely defined, does my duty consist? In case of doubt, to what counsel can I apply? And if I cannot fulfill my duty, where is the authority to compel me? State and church have indeed set a certain limit, but even though I do not go to the extreme, can I not therefore be a bad husband? Who will punish me? Who will stand up for her who is the victim? Answer, you yourself.